Hey, what's up? Today I wanted to talk about something that's been a big what do you call that? It's a big controversy, I guess, in the community. I'm talking about chemtrails, uh, chemical trails, and having a discussion about it on a forum, the forum in which I'm posting this video. So I think it's pertinent that I talk about it today because it's kind of topical to what and I really don't like talking about just one strand of this vast conspiracy, but today I'll do that because it's much more of a visible one. So, what are chemtrails? Chemtrails are sprayed by planes across the sky. They're not like contrails. Contrails are just the exhaust from a jet or a plane, and they disappear within 30 seconds, a minute. Chemtrails will stay up there for hours, and then they'll fall to the ground. And there were stories of people, bunch of fish and birds all dying, just falling out of the sky and below into a pond, and all the fish were dead. And they found some chemicals: barium, strontium, aluminium, and a few other chemicals in that area. And people have done very extensive research into chemtrails, and they also contain something called neural dust or smart dust, which is nanotechnology. Um, what that is it's microscopic machines basically, and what they do is they get breathed in by humans and other animals and whatnot, and it is a gateway to the transhumanist movement under the guise of controlling the weather through HARP and the chemtrails. There's always a fake reason for something very sinister. And people think it's just poisoning the populace, which it is. It is poisoning to an extent. But the biggest thing to worry about with chemtrails is the smart dust or nanotechnology. Because we're not going to need to be microchipped anymore. It's not going to be a problem. The nanotechnology from the smart dust, I guarantee probably 90% of the human race has already breathed in some smart dust because it's microscopic. And someone, I think it was Ray Kurzweil, was talking about everything in nature would have a geotag or something on it, something like a microchip on it. And how would they do that? The most efficient way, obviously from the sky. And it's really sad that you tell people about this and they just dismiss it by reflex action. Most people, at least. And what I'm trying to express here is chemtrails are real. They have done studies on it. I mean, the thing is the problem is that people would say something like they'd never do that. No, 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 no. You'd never do that because you have empathy, you have compassion, you have this or that. But these people who are perpetrating these acts like chemtrails and other GMOs, which is one of the worst things in the world, and other toxic influences into our environment, – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – –– – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – – –– – It's just ridiculous the amount of chemicals that we're exposed to. And radioactivity, radiation level is 50 million times what it was in 1950. So that's because they're testing nuclear weapons in the desert of America. Israel's testing nuclear weapons. We live in a terrible, toxic world at times, and some people just they don't want to know, or they're not ready to know, or they don't believe it out of reflex action without doing any research whatsoever. They just say, "Oh, it's hogwash, it's bullshit," and we got to be a little more streetwise than that. Because the fate of the world is depending on us. Not just the chemtrails, but the transhumanist movement is not designed to make us superhuman. It's designed to make us subhuman. And the reason that is because they want a working class of slaves. These elites, as they're called, they want a working class of slaves under them. They also want the population reduced by down to 1 billion or half a billion that they've said in a lot of documents. They said 3 billion, said halved. But it's in almost every document they've written on how they want the world to change. It's always reduce the population, education dumbed down, breakup of the nuclear family. Because nuclear family was a breakup of the tribe. It's just the more fragmented they can make us, and sick they can make us, the happier they seem to be. And the things that we can do about it is expose what's going on to people, and to do it in such a way where you can try and convince them that these things are actually happening. You bring up 9/11 as an Israeli United States inside outside job, whatever you want to call it. Some people will still say you're crazy. The more more I'm sorry, more and more people are starting to see that 9/11 was obviously an inside job. It's a great footage on the BBC that kind of shows how it was all a script. I love it because it's so pertinent. There's a woman talking on the TV, and behind her is Building 7 of the World Trade Center. And she's saying 30 minutes before the building collapses that Building 7 has collapsed due to a fire. And what's his name? Larry Silverstein, who leased the buildings, had insurance against terrorist attacks right before it happened. He said, "We just chose to pull the building. It had such a terrible day." You can't just pull a building on a whim. So people will you start them off with something like that and then guide them further forward. Maybe they can finally get into the really sinister things that I'm not going to talk about here, because not in this video at least, because I need more videos to make. So I got like 22 more videos to make. So I don't want to say everything in every video, but don't worry. What or who is behind all of this will become clear within a few videos, and it's basically a death cult, a Satanist cult that, runs this world. And, but the problem is that we're the ones that have the power. we have the power in sheer numbers alone. Never mind what we can do with it individually. I mean, we all have the power to put an end to this Orwellian fascist state that they're planning for everyone. And it's through, it sounds trite and but it's through love, compassion, gratitude, etc., etc. It's through the, damn it, the higher vibrations, vibrational energy, as they call it, the positive energy, the energy of the heart that will help us overcome all these things that are destroying our humanity, you know? And chemtrails are just one strand of a giant, and it's not that there's conspiracies everywhere. There's one giant conspiracy, and there's many strands. And the chemtrails is just one tiny bit of it. It's not like it is a big deal to an extent because of the nanotechnology inside of it, but it's not the biggest thing we need to worry about. The biggest thing we need to worry about, well, be concerned about, I should use that word instead of worry, because worrying is a waste. But it's the 5G system that's coming on and the social crediting system like they have in China, where if you say something the state doesn't like or you do something the state doesn't like, they can turn off your whatever, your microchip or your smart dust or your biometric scan, and you won't be able to buy anything or go on a plane. And Max Egan's been talking about this for, I think, about 4 or 5 months. It's called like One Belt, One Road or something. And there are all these different things that tie in together. And the thing is if you look at just a dot, you're not going to get very far. They want us looking at dots. They don't want us connecting the dots to see the picture. And the idea of all the different strands connecting is what I'm going to attempt to do in the next few videos, because it makes a lot more sense when you don't take these things in isolation, such as chemtrails or GMO foods or this or that. But put on your tinfoil hat for the next few videos, people. We're about to go really deep into the rabbit hole. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you, I guess, tomorrow, and then the next day, and then so on and so forth. Have a good day.